On March 5, 2025, former President Donald Trump sent shockwaves through North America. He announced new tariffs targeting Canada and Mexico. The move, reminiscent of his previous trade battles, immediately ignited tensions with America's closest trading partners. These tariffs impacting steel, aluminum, and automotive parts have raised concerns about a potential trade war. The 25% levy on steel and aluminum, along with a 10% tariff on automotive parts, is meant to protect American jobs. However, the economic fallout could be significant, impacting businesses and consumers on both sides of the border. The announcement sent ripples of uncertainty across the continent. Businesses, already grappling with a volatile global economy, now face the prospect of disrupted supply chains and increased costs. Consumers, too, are likely to feel the pinch as the tariffs drive up prices for everything from cars to construction materials. Trump's decision, a bold gamble in the name of economic nationalism, has set the stage for a high-stakes trade showdown. These tariffs represent a significant escalation in Trump's protectionist trade agenda. Trump's decision, while popular with some segments of his base who applaud his tough stance on trade, has drawn sharp criticism from economists and business leaders. They argue that tariffs will ultimately harm the American economy by raising prices for consumers and hurting American businesses that rely on imported goods. The move has ignited a fierce debate about the costs and benefits of protectionism in a globalized economy. The tariffs, a major point of contention between the US and its neighbors, have been met with swift condemnation and threats of retaliation. Canada and Mexico, both vital economic partners of the United States, have vowed to respond with tariffs of their own, potentially triggering a tit-for-tat trade war that could damage all three economies. The situation remains fluid, with the potential for further escalation or a negotiated settlement still hanging in the balance. News of the tariffs sent immediate shockwaves through global markets. The Dow Jones Industrial Average plummeted 427 points, while the S&P 500 and Nasdaq also experienced significant declines. The initial announcement wiped out billions in market value as investors reacted with fear and uncertainty. This knee-jerk reaction reflects the deep anxiety surrounding Trump's unpredictable trade moves. The market volatility underscores the high stakes of Trump's gamble. While the former president touts the tariffs as a win for American workers, investors are clearly wary of the potential fallout. The tariffs have injected a fresh wave of uncertainty into the global economy, which was already grappling with a multitude of challenges, including rising inflation and geopolitical instability. Investors are now bracing for a prolonged period of market turbulence as the trade dispute plays out. The tariffs are just the latest example of Trump's penchant for disrupting global trade norms. His previous trade wars, particularly with China, have left a legacy of uncertainty and volatility in their wake. The current situation has revived fears of a full-blown trade war, which could have devastating consequences for the global economy. Businesses are now forced to navigate an increasingly unpredictable trade landscape, making it difficult to plan for the future. While Trump has offered a one-month delay on some tariffs related to the USMCA, the damage has already been done. The delay, while offering a temporary reprieve, does little to address the underlying tensions. The specter of tariffs continues to loom large, casting a shadow of uncertainty over the future of North American trade. Businesses and investors alike are left to grapple with the unpredictable whims of the former president with no guarantee of a positive outcome. Mexico, caught in the crosshairs of Trump's tariff salvo, finds itself in a delicate position. The country, heavily reliant on trade with the United States, now faces the daunting task of protecting its economic interests while navigating a complex relationship with its powerful northern neighbor. President Claudia Sheinbaum, while acknowledging the potential for economic harm, has adopted a cautious approach, emphasizing dialogue and diplomacy. Sheinbaum, while acknowledging the tariffs as a challenge, has expressed a willingness to engage in constructive dialogue with the U.S. Her measured response, a stark contrast to the fiery rhetoric often employed by Trump, reflects Mexico's desire to avoid a full-blown trade war. Mexico, acutely aware of its economic dependence on the U.S. market, is seeking to minimize the damage while also defending its own interests. Despite the conciliatory tone, Mexico has made it clear that it will not back down from defending its interests. The country has prepared retaliatory tariffs, targeting key U.S. exports, should negotiations fail. This measured approach, a combination of diplomacy and resolve, underscores Mexico's determination to protect its economy while preserving its relationship with the U.S. The coming weeks will test Mexico's ability to navigate this complex diplomatic and economic tightrope. Mexico's response highlights the high stakes for the country's economy. The tariffs, if implemented fully, threaten to disrupt key industries and cost Mexican jobs. The country is caught between a rock and a hard place, forced to choose between appeasing a powerful neighbor and risking economic hardship. The situation underscores the precarious position of smaller economies in an increasingly polarized global trade landscape. As the tariff tiff between the U.S. and its trading partners escalated, reactions across the country varied widely. Some industries felt the pinch immediately, while others saw potential for growth. Politicians, economists, and business leaders weighed in on the possible long-term impacts, with opinions ranging from cautious optimism to outright concern. Many Americans wondered how these changes would affect their daily lives and the broader economy. Amidst the uncertainty, one thing was clear: the conversation around tariffs had become a central topic in households and boardrooms alike. As tariffs begin to take their toll, domestic tensions are on the rise. Many industries are feeling the squeeze, and the general public is growing increasingly concerned. Will these economic pressures lead to greater unrest? Only time will tell. The current trade policies echo the trade wars of the past. Many are reminded of the Trump administration's aggressive stance on international trade. The question remains: are we destined to repeat history, or will a new path be forged? With the future of trade hanging in the balance, uncertainty grips the global market. Businesses and investors alike are holding their breath, waiting to see what the next move will be. The stakes have never been higher. Amidst the turmoil, there is a growing call for cooperation. Leaders and experts alike are urging nations to come together, to find common ground and work towards mutual benefit. In these challenging times, unity may be the key to overcoming adversity.